was command style C, as we said, the reciprocal style. So you can see that our teaching style goal was just to encourage healthy social interaction and immediate feedback for peer-to-peer. The subject matter objectives was just internalizing the subject matter because you had more chances to practice and teach, as well as identify errors within yourself and within somebody else. Also, you could get the chance to practice with the task without a teacher and get the opportunity to compare and contrast the different performances.
Some of the behavior objectives was to expand socialization and interaction skills. So while doing this teaching style, you had a chance to talk to and interact with your peers instead of it just being a teacher-student relationship. You had a deeper teacher-student relationship. To practice communication skills, to give and receive feedback from peers, which can sometimes be hard and difficult, to develop patience and tolerance and acceptance from others, and to develop empathy and social manners, and to develop deep social bonds, and to trust and interact with and socializing with others.
Yeah, and as we explained before, there's the roles of the teacher, the observer, and the doer. So us teachers, we delivered and we didn't demonstrate, but we delivered the subject activity, and we communicated primarily with the observers. And the observers got to choose their location, pace, rhythm, sets, reps, times on each activity, and the order. They were able to teach and give instant feedback to the doer and ask for clarifying questions to the teacher on behalf of the doer. And the tutor just performed the task according to the decisions made by the observer and asked for clarifying questions only to the observer, not the teacher.
So this is a great teaching style because it encourages peer-to-peer interaction, which is sometimes lost in the big classroom these days, and it guarantees immediate feedback for the person who's actually learning instead of having to raise their hand or not even ask the question because there's so many questions being asked in the class. And you get more opportunity to learn as you teach things. So you getting to teach and then learn actually increases the amount of learning that takes place in each person. And as many of you guys know, everyone has different styles of learning. So you can actually, with a small pair, you can actually cater your learning style with your pair. So it's a lot better.
And then we came up with some cons to this learning style. And some of the cons that we came up with, miscommunication can often be a problem with this teaching style, either between the teacher and the observer, or the observer to the doer. Since there's so much communication happening and from person to person, it can get mixed up and mistranslated sometimes. Limited teacher interaction, sometimes that can be a problem. The teacher doesn't get to interact with the students all the time. And the teacher can also tend to be over-involved or under-involved. So it's easy for them to be under-involved because they're not doing much at the time because you guys are doing the teaching, so they can become disconnected and disinvolved. But they can also become over-involved where they can try to butt into your teaching with the doer, and so that can also be a problem. And the teacher sometimes, it's hard for them to not comment. So I experienced this today because I saw something today and I was like, oh, in my head I was like, his butt's too high up. But I couldn't communicate that to the student, and so that was hard for me, and so that can sometimes be a misconception, or can be hard for the teacher. So, yeah. And then again, our teaching goal is to encourage healthy social interactions and immediate feedback from peer to peer. That's our thing. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Well, what did you guys feel was necessary to include in the sheet? What do you think you need to put on there so that the observer had the right tools to teach the unit?
I'm a visual learner, so that's why I threw on some pictures. I also think it's good to put instructions with like words and directions, and so I think it depends on the teacher because they can make it however they want, but we put the pictures on it and we also put instructions just to back up those pictures.
We also talked about common errors, just because they are pretty simple activities, but there are a lot of common errors, so we need to put those on there just so that the observer could point those out more easily in the doer.
Any questions?
Is there ever a point where the teacher would intervene to the observer like you said, it was hard because you couldn't talk to the students, but like if someone was doing something very wrong and the observer wasn't correcting him or her, would you?
Yeah, I think it's definitely situational. So I've always imagined this type of learning style like a math or a reading class or something where you can practice. So it doesn't feel like intervention would be super necessary there, but when movement comes into play, if the teacher observes a movement that could actually cause injury, or if there is an injury happening or something like that, then I think it would be necessary for the teacher to intervene.